What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Specifically, I've got some stuff I want to talk about with September because I know that seems to be the going trending topic of discussion is how bad September is for Bitcoin, historically speaking. And I know I just made a video about this the other day. I encourage anybody who's a naysayer, or maybe not a naysayer, but a yay-sayer, someone who does believe that September is a bearish month, a negative month, that it's going to be a bloodbath in September, because it always is. That's what people say, right? At least that's the narrative going around on YouTube and on X and on the socials. If you're one of those people, I encourage you to watch this video. It's 15 minutes long. You probably get the point by halfway through, right? Just watch a little bit of it, right? It'll explain exactly what I'm about to say, which is that Bitcoin does not have bloodbath Septembers. No. In fact, out of its entire existence, which is 14 Septembers now. Okay, this is about to be its 15th. This is its 15th September. We're about to have it closed, right, in a month's time. In its 15 Septembers, I guess 14 closed Septembers, it's only had 3 red months that were greater than 10%. It's only had 1 green month that was greater than 10%. So 3 plus 1 is 4, right? It had 14 Septembers in total, which means that 10 of those Septembers have closed less than 10% to the green or to the red side. 10 of 14 Septembers in Bitcoin's history have closed neutral. It's much more common, it's much more statistically likely that September would close neutral. And I would wonder too, I'm not completely 100%, I'm not going to go through and do this, but I would wonder how many Septembers were super bearish whenever you were literally consolidating right at the top of your previous all-time high. Like I would really wonder, right? I mean, you look at this here, right? Your first high that you had here, your monthly close, the end of the bull market, literally the end of the bull market. That's where we closed for August. So we closed right there at that month. Can't be any closer than that, man. We closed right there. And already we're having a bullish month. Now, there's about 28 days left in the month. Of course, there's a lot of time. A lot can happen. But all you people who are calling for 40K, who are calling for sub 50K, who are calling for prices that are lower than this, stop it. Just stop it. Stop it. I don't even understand. I don't understand where that's coming from. I don't get it. People who are complaining about this bull market, saying and guys, I'm giving you shit. I am not harping on you. Harping on you maybe. I'm not attacking you. Okay, if you feel attacked, understand. I'm your friend. I'm trying to wake up. I'm not trying to be like, you suck, you're dumb. No, that's not it. You're entitled to your own opinions. I'm entitled to mine. I could be wrong. Wouldn't I look like an ass for everything that I'm about to say if I was wrong? But I don't think I'll be. My long-term analysis is strong. It really is, okay? And I think anybody can vouch for that if they've watched the channel for the past year and a half. But what was I going to say, man? What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, people complaining about, first off, people predicting that prices will go lower than that month. I just stop. And then people who are complaining about the bull market also stop, because, you guys, the last bull market, were you here? How many of you were here? If you weren't here, I understand why you might think this is the worst bull market ever. I get it. But if you were here, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why? And again, all jokes, man, but genuinely, like, what's wrong with you? Because we had a phase in the last bull market from a high point to the time that we broke that took 16 months. We saw no growth for 16 months. And people are calling this the worst bull market ever. And we're on our 6th month. Not even a full 6 months of consolidating, right? You go back to the previous cycle here, right? You started your cycle from high to the time that you broke out. It took you 6 months. On that 6th month, that's when you broke out. And even then, you still interacted with like prices around this area months later, right? But from a high point here, you didn't break out of that until 6 months again. You had a 6 months phase before you saw a new high, right? A 6 months phase before you saw a new high. This was a phenomenal cycle. From a low point to a high point, Bitcoin grew 122% or 122x. Sorry, 122x. The cycle before, this humongous, crazy cycle, man, that did way more than 122x. It did it's a 6,000, am I right? No. It'd be a 620 something x is what that would be, right? That's crazy. Absolutely insane. And in this cycle, which was one of the greatest cycles we ever had, guess what? From a high point to the time that it broke out, 6 months. It didn't even actually see a new high until that 7th month, and that was the end of it, right? 6 months. So no, this is not, this was the, dude, this sucked. This was the most boring bull market ever. This, talk about questioning. You had COVID going on. You had the Ukraine-Russia war conflict going on. You had interest rates climbing. You had inflation at all-time highs, or at least like multi-decade highs, right, that we hadn't seen in a long time. This was a cause for concern that the bull market was over, right? We had been consolidating for way longer than 6 months. Stop it. Stop it. Stop whining. Be patient. Yeah, I'm going to be dad right now. I'm a dad. I'm being dad. Shut your mouth. Be patient. Buckle up. Buy some. Sit on your couch. Watch some TV. Go to sleep. Wake me up when September ends, because guess what? It's probably going to be phenomenal. It's probably going to be phenomenal what happens in October, November, December of this year, going into next year even. It's probably going to be absolutely phenomenal. We will be at prices that none of the bears who are calling for prices below 50K, calling for prices below this, calling for prices at 40K, none of you guys are going to fathom, because it's going to be at like 120K, 170K. We could even genuinely be above 200K in this amount of time. I don't think so. I personally don't think so, but it could happen. It really could happen. It depends on how long the cycle lasts, right? If this next move up goes until the end of the year, maybe it's like December, maybe it's the first quarter of next year, and maybe that's the end of the bull market, likely we would see a lot of growth. We would see prices move up above 200K in that amount of time. I don't think this next move is going to be the end of the bull cycle, so that's why I think we'll be somewhere in this area between like 120 and 150, maybe 170, somewhere in that area. That'll be our next phase of consolidation. And then people up here who bought here, right, who bought at the highs, or people who sold down here or sold this consolidation phase and then they bought the highs, they're going to say the same thing at the end of it, not in the beginning of it, right? Do you guys notice? I wonder how many of you notice like I do. And maybe I'm just seeing what I want to see, but I don't think I am. I try to look at things like objectively for what they are. I try not to be biased, but doesn't everybody? And then they still are. So I'm not saying that I'm immune to that, but what I'm trying to say is, how many people here were talking about the bull market's over? We're going to go below 40K. How many people here were saying this was the worst bull market in existence? How many people here? None of them, right? And we've just been moving sideways with a slight downside effect, right? We're at the same prices right now that we were at the low points over here, and people are more bearish now than they were at any of these like prior, like these first 4 months. But now it's because you're bored, and that's what people say kills investors, kills traders the most. That makes people lose the most money. It's not this stuff, right? Because by the time this happens, by the time you're slapped with reality, you're like, damn, it's already down. Right? It's this stuff. It gives you time. You're like still relatively in the same area. It gives you time to think like, maybe it is going to go down. Maybe it is going to, it's slightly going down over the past 6 months. It really hasn't moved that much at all though, has it? Relative to its like overall lifetime. And that boringness is what shakes people out more so than this stuff. This shakes out the paper hands. This shakes out people who are wearing leather gloves. But the diamond hands, baby, we keep going. We keep going. And it's going to keep going. Absolutely not. This bull market's not over. And I'm almost done with the video, but I'm going to end the note with why I don't believe the bull market's over. Okay, I wasn't going to do this, but we're going to do it for fun. Okay, for fun. High to high. That one was 29 bars. High to high. That one was 49 bars. High to, we'll do the high, 47 bars, but even at the end of the bull cycle, which is 40. But we're going to high, but 40. Keep that in mind. It was 40, right? Still long. 47. High to high, right? Because our high came in March, 28 bars. You're telling me, right? Because if that's the all-time high, if the bull cycle's over, you're telling me that we've just experienced the shortest bull cycle that's ever existed. Whenever the economy around the world is looking a little bit more stable, things are looking to come up. We've got the election year coming. It is the election year right now. We've got potentially good prospects for crypto, depending on who wins, between, I guess, Kamala and Trump. I think they're both crypto friendly, although with Kamala's unclaimed income tax or unclaimed capital gains tax, that seems a bit hostile toward investors. So I wouldn't like to see her get in office just for that reason alone. I mean, not just for that reason alone, but I also think she's dumber than a box of bricks. But to everybody's, whatever. That doesn't mean we can't be friends, right? If you don't like Kamala or you do like Kamala, that doesn't mean that we can't be friends, right? If you like Donald Trump or you don't like Donald Trump, that doesn't mean we can't be friends, right? I'm definitely not going to be voting for Kamala Harris just for whatever that was. I was going to vote for RFK, but he endorsed Donald Trump, so I'm stuck with, basically the same decision we had 8 years ago, right? Or 4 years ago, 8 years ago. Enough politics, man. I'm not trying to talk about politics. I'm getting sideswept. And the very fact of what I'm trying to say is that absolutely freaking not are we going to only see 28 months of a bull cycle. No. And on top of that, every single cycle. Do you guys remember when the halvings were? Do you remember that big event that probably a lot of you got into crypto for because you got in at the wrong time when the media is hyping it up, just like everybody does, just like the dumb money does every single time? Do you remember the halving? And I'm not making fun of you guys. Again, I've been there. I have been there where I buy when I hear the news being so bullish. I'm like, it's gonna go, it's time. And now I'm more chill with it, right? What I'm getting to is the halving was here. First halving ever, November 28th, 2012. Here's the cycle high, well after the halving, right? You had a boring phase in between. That 6-month pause right there. You still had more cycle to go, okay? After the halving, then you had a bear cycle. Your next halving was in July 9th of 2016. Where was your all-time high for this cycle? It wasn't there. It wasn't the month before the halving. No, it was sometime after the halving, right? And I actually want to measure that just for funsies. I was going to do this and then I wasn't going to do it, but we're doing it. 12 months after the halving, 17 months after the halving. The next halving was May 11th. Is it May 11th or May 10th? But it was in May of 2020. I think it was May 11th. It might have been May 10th. I should have these down. But where was the all-time high? It was 18 months after. And the end of the cycle was 11 months after. 12 months, 11 months, 17 months, 18 months. Pretty close. However you want to skin it. It's pretty close. You got things to compare it to. Where was our halving this time? And again, right? You had your highs beforehand. Here was your high before the halving. Was that the high? No. Here was your high before the halving. Was that the high? No. Even though that was a long phase of consolidation beforehand. Here was your high before the halving. Was that it? No. And you consolidated here for like 5 months. Your halving this time was in April 20th, perfect, of 2024. Your high was the month before. Was this your all-time high? Or do we have more in us to go? Do we have 12 months, which would put us in April of 2025? Do we have 17 months based off of this cycle, which would put us in September of 2025, a whole year from now? How much damage could we do in a year, guys, right? This is what we did right here. That's what we did in 6 months, right? The cycle finale right here. That's not even the actual high. There we go. Right? I'm going to delete this so you can see what I'm talking about. And that's 18 months, by the way. So 18 months could be October. We could do October. It could be October. It could be later than that. It could be earlier than that. But just October is when I'm thinking the end of the cycle is going to be. 6 months' time. We potentially have at least a year's time left from now, right? At the least April. At the least, that'd be 7 months. That'd be over half a year still, right? In half a year's time, from the low to the high of this move up, if we were to put this at the current low that we had, right, and we were to see the shortest bull cycle that we've ever seen after the halving happened, and that would take us to February, 6 months. Yeah, because here from here it'd be 7 months, but to get to April, right? Anyway, sorry. From a low point to a high point there, that would still put Bitcoin at $309,000, above 300,000. It put it above 300,000. If we were to see this same move that we made in 6 months, you guys, we have more than 6 months time left. This is a very weak cycle, right? Don't believe me. That looks strong. That is strong. That's a great move that we had, right? We went from literally like $10,500 all the way up to $65,000. That's phenomenal. In 6 months, great. Good job. That's phenomenal. But it was weak. Why was it weak? Obviously it was weak because we had a 16-month, we had all this economic catastrophe, calamity, BS going on in this time frame, right? This is not the most boring bull cycle. The bull cycle is not over. We are not seeing a lower low. We are not in a bear market. We're not. Be patient, my friends. Be patient, okay? A lot of you who are worrying right now, I'm going to guess you were not involved with crypto. Actually, I'm going to guess you were not involved with crypto at any point back here or beforehand. I'm going to guess that. And if the answer is yes, then what you need to understand is, how do I know that? How do I know that? Is that just a wild guess? Is that just a coincidence that I know that the people who are worried about the price action, who are worried about the bull market, that you guys were not in the bull market last time at good prices. Maybe you bought the high. Maybe you even bought like here, right? But you bought somewhere from here and onwards. How do I know that? It's because I was you. I've done this before. I've put $5,000 of my own money, and this is when $5,000 was a lot of money to me. This is whenever I was living at my mom's house, and I saved up all the money I could, as much as I could, because I was waiting for the price to come down in December. I'd been investing already a little bit, chunks in like hundreds of dollars here, $80 there, whatever I could afford. I was living at my mom's house again, but I saved up some cash and I threw in $5K, you guys, $5K, which to me was a lot of money. It's still a lot of money. Of course, it's a lot of money, but who would want to be a millionaire and tell me you'd love to lose $5,000? Nobody would. Nobody wants to lose $5,000 just because. But I put $5,000 in at 18K, right? That sucked. And you're whining about this, right? I've been here before in a more dramatic state, okay? I get it. I get where all the emotions come from, okay? I bought at 18K, I sold at 6K. It went up to 12K, I bought back with all the money I had. It went back down to 6K, I sold again, and then it went back up. I didn't buy, but then it went down again, and then I bought, and then it didn't do anything, so I sold, and then it dropped. I didn't buy here, I bought like somewhere on the way up. I didn't do it right, man, because it was all emotional. Right? Stop being emotional. That's the main kind of message of this video. I hope I didn't piss anybody off. If I did, you're soft, but at the same time, I'm not trying to piss anybody off. I'm trying to, again, just wake up. Wake up. Look at the, like if you don't like the way that I'm talking to you, just at least look at the way, and I apologize for that, but at the same time, I don't think I'm being too harsh. Look at the way that the markets have gone. Do some genuine long-term analysis on a monthly basis. See what every cycle, even the strongest cycles, have done. We're not doing anything out of the ordinary at all. Consolidating after the halving, not out of the ordinary at all. Watch my videos from back in April, which again, I relinquished. I'm not saying I was right. My videos were right, but I changed my calls afterwards. I was definitely wrong. Watch my videos back in April. I will do the same analysis that I did now, saying that I genuinely remember saying it could be August, September, even October. And I was thinking August. If not September, is what I remember saying specifically back in April. But I was saying it could be as late as October, even November, that we break out, that we start doing things. It's got to be boring. Go back and watch my videos around April 20th, 2 weeks before then. I was saying that over and over and over again. And I'm not saying that because I'm like, I was right. That message was right, sure, but I was wrong. I said in May that I thought we were going to see new all-time highs, right? I'd said it in June. I'd said it in August, in July. Like I genuinely did, right? And I'm saying it now. We're going to see new all-time highs soon enough. But maybe not this month. Maybe it's next month, but what I certainly don't believe is we're going lower. I don't believe that. I think that's done. I think we're done with that, you guys. I think at this point in time, Bitcoin has more upside to go. A lot of people, this is what I wanted to say in the beginning of the video, but I got so sidetracked, man, because of my sass tonight. Here's September last year. The media, YouTube, X.com, Twitter, I think it was last year. Maybe it was X.com. I can't remember. I think it was X, right? They acquired it by then. Whatever, Discord that you're in. Everybody was talking about how September's going to be a bloodbath because it's always a bloodbath. I did the same September analysis that I did in this video and came to the same conclusion that I'm about to say, which is that actually it's not a bloodbath. Actually, September's a neutral month. I even called back here. I said, I bet it closes to the upside less than 10%. You can go back and watch that video too. If I didn't say to the upside less than 10%, then I definitely said green nonetheless, because everybody's expecting it to be a bloodbath, right? Wouldn't it be funny that even though last time, like a whole year ago, this exact scenario that the media, all the media, all the YouTubers, all the X.com accounts, all the Discord people, all the Telegrams, everybody just seems to know that September's just such a bad month, but they don't actually look at the data. They just hear somebody else say it. It's like, oh, you said that. Oh, I heard somebody else say that. That's smart. We're all a bunch of smart little people, aren't we? Because we were just agreeing on things without even actually looking at the data. Look at the data. Go ahead and look at it. Watch the video. If you don't want to look at it yourself, you can look at it right there. Watch it on 2x speed, whatever. You probably can't because I talk fast anyways. I've tried watching myself at 2x speed. You can't. I talk too fast. You're going to have to watch it at regular speed or at least 1.5 speed. But nonetheless, it's a 14-minute video. Take some time out of your life if you're truly bearish on crypto right now and educate yourself that September is not going to be a bad month. It's not. It's not. It just really isn't. Maybe I need to chill out, man. But I'm telling you, that month, Look at last month. Look at August. You see that humongous wick. You see where we closed. You see where we're consolidating. You see how long we've consolidated in reference to anything else that we've seen in prior bull cycles. We're right on track, you guys. It's about to be go time. And for everybody who's scared, for everybody who's not prepared for the bull cycle, for everybody who's been selling and shorting and not putting in the money they've been working for, and they're holding that bag of money, hoarding it, and they're not investing it now, you guys in a month's time, in 2 months' time, you're gonna feel dumb. And that's the thing. You feel a lot of bulls right now feel dumb, and the bears feel so smart. But why? Like what have we done that's so bad? What have we done? Right? Here's another thing. From a high point to a low point, 33%. This is the worst. This is the most terrible bull market we've ever seen. In 5 months' time, you moved down 33%. Well, at least it wasn't 74%. At least it wasn't 40%, which is just a little bit more, but 40%, right? In 2 months' time, by the way, not 5 months' time, right? Again, going back to that thing that I was saying, I think I said it in this video. It's been such a long video already. I'm all over the place, but going back to what I was saying, this was probably less dramatic for people than this is. Why? It's not the difference of the drop in the amount of time it is. It's the amount of time itself. It's the amount of time. Boring versus quick but done, right? Moving sideways is the thing that shakes people out the most. This shakes out paper hands. This shakes out your paper hands and your leather gloves, right? But it doesn't shake out the diamond hands ever. The diamond hands hold, right? You gotta hold, man. You gotta hold. Rock hands, I don't know, man. Other, right, stronger cycles beforehand, right? From here, from a high to a low. Were you scared at a 75% loss? I bet so. But hey, man, if you held, guess what? You would have had a 366% gain anyways. You could have played the short term and tried to make it. You could have shit yourself and sold. But man, you would have never, if you sold in this consolidation phase, the odds, you wouldn't have had a chance to buy at those same prices. You would have had to buy higher, even if you timed it perfectly on the bear cycle, right? So all I'm trying to say, guys, is we're not doing anything out of the ordinary. It's a very tame bull market, right? Tame in the sense that we haven't dropped more in a shorter amount of time. It's very tame, but it's boring right now. This is the most boring part of any bull market, but it's not, it's on track. It's literally right on track. It fits the narrative. It fits the cycle from a timing perspective that every single cycle, which is only 3 cycles before, this is the 4th cycle, right? That we've ever seen, right? It's only that much, not a whole lot of iterations to go off of, but so far from those 4, the timing is perfect. It's literally perfect. It's literally perfect. And you don't believe me? You think that I'm just saying that? I implore you to go watch my videos from April and see that I'm saying more or less the same thing here. And again, I changed my opinion. That's not the point. I'm just saying, how would I know that? How would I have been able to guess that, estimate that, talk about this exact scenario that I'm talking about now 5 months ago? 4 months ago, however many months ago April was. It's October now, so 5 months ago. No, it's September now. 5 months ago. Sorry. How would I know that? It's because we're analyzing previous cycles. It's all that was projected out because of previous cycles, not because of this cycle. And this cycle is literally following the same game plan, the same itinerary that these previous cycles were. It's not boring. It's not bearish. The bear market has not started. This is not the shortest bull market we've ever seen. That's not how it happens, man. Absolutely not. And I've repeated myself so many times, so I'm just going to stop there. I'm going to stop talking. So if you guys like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. I don't normally make videos like this. I'm more composed. I'm more talk about technical analysis, but I felt like being dad today, so that's what you get. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.